Hello, I'm Natural Dory. Thank you for tuning in with me today. Um, I want to talk about some important things. The title of this live is Just Because, and I'm going to explain it here in just a minute. I'm going to share a story with you guys. I knew this girl. She had a rough past. From an early age, she was bullied for as long as she could remember. She got teased for everything from her hands just because she was different. She got teased about her weight. In the sixth grade, she got asked if she was pregnant because she had such a big weight problem. And she could not believe what other kids were saying about her. She was so insecure with herself, and she could not believe what other kids were saying about her. She had this friend who stood up for her on the bus, and she is still friends with this person today. Um, One day, she came home from school and told her mother about what happened, and her mother immediately pulled her from the school. Um, And right around this time, her great grandmother had passed away. And so it was extremely rough for this girl. And so at this point, she had gone to a different school and hoping that things had gotten better. At this point, things had not gotten better. It had only continued, the bullying had only continued. And she had a rare form of dwarfism. Hello, Rock with Robbie. Thank you for tuning in. She had a rare form of dwarfism, and it shows in her hands and her feet. People would call her Stumpy because of her hands. And I'm good. How are you? I'm telling a story and the um explaining why the live of the video is called, the title of the video is called Just Because. So, she had severe self-esteem issues, and, so, she would constantly get, um, shoved, she would constantly get, thank you, I really appreciate you tuning in. She would constantly get, um, beat up. She would constantly get spit on. There was one time she had told me she went to school and she tried to get on the bus, and there was these people, two girls, and they had she blacked out. The next thing that she remembered was getting on the bus, holding her broken glasses, and everybody was just avoiding her. And things just got worse and worse and worse. Um, the only person besides this wonderful person that defended her on the bus, that gave her any sort of love besides her family, was her high school sweetheart. And she didn't have any sort of support system other than her family. She didn't know where else to turn to. She never knew any sort of kindness. She met her high school sweetheart, and she was just blown away by the amount of kindness that he was giving her. And so she had finally graduated from high school with the help of her parents, with the help of her with the help of her parents, and with the help of her, thank you, Rock with Rob. And so high school came and went. She finally graduated, and she hated school so badly, she swore that she'd never go back. And now, throughout all of high school, and throughout all of school, she hated school so badly, she swore that she'd never go back. So after high school, she and her high school sweetheart, kind of, because of because of life and everything, they, kind of, um, went in touch and went out of touch, and, you know, everything like that. August of 2008, she was working at Walmart, and she ran into her high school sweetheart, and they exchanged their inside joke, and he told her that he missed her and that he wanted things to work out. And he said that he'd give her a call. 4 days later, she found out that he died in a in a car accident. She didn't believe it until the following week, where she went to his funeral, where it was open coffin and his wake. That was very traumatic to her. And her whole life. Thank you, Rock with Rob. See you later. Thank you for watching. So anyways, her whole life, everybody told her, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you can never do this, you can never do that. And after she graduated from high school, it only, she dated a couple of people here and there, and they were just a bunch of losers. And then she met her husband, and she thought he was the most wonderful thing in the world. And after they got married, shortly after their wedding, things started to get a little hairy. And she was never good enough for him. He was always pushing her to lose weight. Then he made her quit her job. Then he made her file for Social Security disability because he had told her that she was too mental, that she was too depressed, that she was too psycho to hold a job. Eventually, they separated. She was holding on to try to work things out because she was so in love with this man. She finally got the courage to file for divorce eventually. Now, she was loyal to this man to a fault, 100% of the way. She, one day, finally got a text message from a random number calling her an effing slut, saying that they got this number out of a bathroom stall, saying, call this number for a good time. She called her ex-husband, or her husband at the time, and said, what's going on? What's happening? And he said, well, there's a rumor going around my work that you were selling your body for sex. Long story short, she changed her number. She walked to the courthouse that very next day and filed for divorce. It took her a while to get back on her feet. But, eventually she held it took her a while, and she was only holding part-time jobs for a while. But now she is holding a full-time job, going on just over 6 months now. She's trained in multiple departments. She's happy with where she's at. She's not quite where she wants to be, but she's working on it. She's happy with her life, and she's defeated all odds. I know that story is true 100% because you want to know something? That story is my story. I'm the one that went through all that. I'm the one who went through all that. I'm the one that story is my story. I'm the one with dwarfism. I'm the one that went through all that. So the reason why my title is called Just Because is because just because someone tells you you can't do something doesn't mean you can't do it. I was told all my life that I can't hold a full-time job, and here I am. I've been holding a full-time job for just over 6 months now, and I love it. I love what I do every single day. I was told my whole life by my peers that I would never make it, that I could never be anything. And here I am. I love what I do and I love my life. And I make decent money. I was told by multiple people. My family has always been supportive. I'm not saying anything about them. I love my family. I've always had a great support system. They've always been by my side. I love them. I'm not saying anything about them. I absolutely love my family. I absolutely adore my family, and they've always been supportive. They've always pushed me to do my best, and they're the reason why I'm here today. And I want to shout out to them real quick. I love every single one of them. My grandmother has been my rock from day one, and she's one of my biggest supporters, and I absolutely love all of my family, and they're the reason why I'm here today. I'm talking about my peers, I'm talking about my ex-husband, I'm talking about all of them. They're the ones that told me that I was too fat. They're the one that told me I was too depressed. There's the one that told me, all of this stuff. And, you know, the doctors, they're the ones that diagnosed me with clinical depression. Not only that, but, I was traumatized too by bullying. Just because other people tell you you're this or that doesn't mean it has to be that way. I'm living through the experience. Just because other people say that you have to be one thing or another, haters are going to hate. You're going to have people that are going to try and bring you down one way or the other. It doesn't have to be like that. And just for the record, for those of you who have diagnosis of, mental things one way or the other, it doesn't have to be like that. If doctors say that you have, you know, you have depression, it doesn't mean you have to be depressed. It doesn't have to be like that. And it's okay to take medication for your mental stuff. It is okay. I have been on medication for years for mental, and you know what? I'm doing fine. I'm like I said, I'm holding a full-time job right now, and I've done it for well over 6 months, and I'm able to. I'm a fully functioning. I've got several mental things, and you know what? I'm fine. I'm fully functioning. You know what I mean? I'm recovering. And I just want to say there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. For those of you that have doubts, I'm living through the experience. I'm living through the experience. Just because someone told you something else doesn't mean you have to be that way. And just because you let's break the stigma, of taking medication just because you have what they call a mental illness. you know let's stop. Just because you have what they call bipolar, with multiple personalities, whatever, there is nothing wrong with that, number one. And number two, that it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to go out there and say, look, I am struggling. You have help out there. You are validated. You are cared for. I want to let you know that. Speaking from experience, you are validated. You are cared for. Are you are accepted, and you are loved. And there is help out there. You are you are good, okay? There is help out there, okay? All you have to do is just reach out. All you have to do is just pick up that phone. There's the suicide hotline. Not only that, but there's counselors out there everywhere. Everywhere there's counselors. Not only that, but with all the social media going on, there's tons of people out there that you can just reach out there, and there's plenty of people out there that is willing to help you. All you have to do is just reach out there. But I'm living through the experience. I came from a very deep and dark place. There's a lot of things that I've been through that I haven't told anybody, because it's been so dark. But you know just because you have been through dark, just because you've been through hell, doesn't mean you have to keep going through hell. You see what I'm saying? Just because it's been that way doesn't mean it has to be that way. Or doesn't mean it has to keep going that way. Anyways, I'm gonna check out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a comment. Give me some feedback. Hope you guys did. I'm out. Hope you guys have a good day. At the end of the day, we don't tomorrow is not promised. Please tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. Know that you are appreciated. Know that you are validated. Please tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. Tomorrow is not promised. Much love.